top of my heat. Got a little loose coming out of 3. Got it all beat up and straightened out. The boys tell me that we're ready to run now. That's a damn good thing, 'cause that green flag's waving and I'm on the gas. I put my sweat and blood to these nuts and bolts. Yeah, I turn a wrench. It's the only way I can afford to build it up again, tear it up again. It's the only way I'm ever gonna learn. One more left turn.
How's it going, everybody? Ryan Kumpf hanging out with you here tonight on another Wednesday evening of Inside Line, joined once again by our very own Scott Angel with Dirt Crown Promotions. We got a special guest here tonight, Scott, as we begin episode number 7. Justin showing up for us here tonight. He's going to be taking the place for Rob this evening. How's it going, Justin?
Oh, Justin, are you with us? He's staring at us.
Maybe he's not. He's not muted. We'll have to try and reconnect Justin here in a second. Scott, talk about your last few weeks. We just had the Racer Swap Meet. How did that go in Columbus?
Oh, man, Racer Swap Meet was great. Can't thank everybody who came out to that enough. Tried a new building this year due to uncontrollable circumstances, and I feel it was the best it could be. Great attendance, great vendors. We had some new guys show up that we haven't seen before, and some new products, and a lot of racetracks there. And you guys had your 602 crate engine with the proceeds going to the Tanner Pelster Memorial Race, Chad Smith and those guys. That was awesome to see that. We had Lighting Motorsports, X Factor, some new guys with West Hill Welding. They really helped us out this year, not only with some of the cool stuff they had for sale. They had a really cool sandbar table made out of a big spool that was really cool, and a attention grabber and kind of a place to hang out. But also they built us a fire pit to give away the night before at the Stock Car Banquet. So we had the Stock Car Banquet on that Friday night before, and again, it was attended. I think we had 15 of the top 25 drivers, which was good.
Wow.
Everybody that was there had fun. Again, we got to make fun of some of the racers, and everybody had a good time, good food. So
I saw there was a race going on. What was that all about, the foot race?
So I don't know if you remember, Ryan, at Columbus, Andy and Rob. Yeah, so we started to just reenact that, and the guys just kept feeding into it, and we had a wheel certificate, and then the betting started, and $20, and then another $5, and another $20, and ended up Jeff Ware. I don't know if he won it. I think he wore it more than anybody after a little contact between the 19 and the 10A, and collected the 83. But Jeff got a aero certificate and a little bit of cash for his battle wounds. He showed me his leg a little bit later on that night, and he had some road rash, but it was fun. I'm just glad everybody was able to have fun and attend it, and just sets a precedence that we're here to have fun and enjoy the sport of auto racing and just be here for the future. So,
well, we do have Justin, and Justin, can you hear us now, buddy?
Yeah, I've got you this time.
There we go. Awesome. So Justin Sutter he's taking over for Rob here tonight with us. Justin, glad to have you on the program with us this evening. Let's go ahead and get right into it, boys. I might be
Ryan, real quick.
Here, I got to
here, real quick, Ryan. We got to figure out. So Justin's part of the Shallow Racing Shock team, and I don't know if he knew I was going to take him up on this offer when he messaged me about a month ago and said, "Hey, your podcasts are a really cool thing, and if you ever need a co-host, we'll jump on." And so I guess the question that I have for Justin, we have the Shock Cocker Restart Zone. So are you more of the shock, or are you the cockery in the Shallow Racing Shocks?
I had to think about this a little bit, but I'm going to have to say that I'm probably the cockery side of it. Ben is definitely the, talks to driver lingo and listens to the guys, and I take more of the crew, and the driver's never right. So I'm definitely probably a little bit more of the showman of the two of us. But man, it's been such a blast learning more of the other driver's side of it and learning more about the other classes, stock cars, B mods, modifieds, and getting a chance to talk to all those guys. But all of our customers will be the first to tell you, it's never the shocks. I mean,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly.
unless they win, then it's definitely the shocks if they win.
And it's something you've come from the ranks of Ben Schaller with the late models, racing some go-kart stuff yourself. That's how I met you with your son. And you've been on the road a little bit here lately out in North Carolina and attended a few shock seminars with Fox Racing Shock. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's been a good winter. We were just recently out at the Hickory Cars Tour show. Got a chance to meet some new people, spend some time with vendors that we know pretty well. Got a chance to spend some more time at Fox and spend some time with the engineers and Ronnie Crooks and the gang. So hopefully learned a little bit, got some tricks up our sleeve for these local guys that are with us, and get them off to a good start here to start the season.
Yeah, that's cool. So we have the Shock Cockery question of the week always, and a big thanks going out to Schaller Racing Shocks for that and always supporting us with Dirt Crown. And Shock Cockery question of the week is, what is the coolest trophy in motorsports? And Justin, you guys are no stranger to victory lane, whether it be on your shock side or on the racing side with Ben Schaller. So what's probably the coolest trophy in motorsports to you guys?
Oh, man. I got to kind of go the pavement way, the grandfather clock from Martinsville. I think no matter what the form of racing is, if I could have one thing in my living room, that grandfather clock, that's the one.
When you think of a cool trophy, that is the first thing that came to my mind as well. Ryan, you mentioned a cool trophy you had in mind. What was that trophy you said?
There we go. I'm just pulling it up right now here. This is, what is this? The Talladega Clarksville Speedway has the Toilet Bowl Classic, and the winner literally gets a wrapped toilet. Now, wouldn't that look sweet in the race shop there, Scott? Me and you joked all day about this. Maybe what we should do this year since it's the Dirt Crown and, the king of the Dirt Crown, maybe the points winner could have its own throne, as they like to call the toilets these days, have a wrapped toilet for the Dirt Crown. That'd be pretty sweet.
Hey, if we can get the guys at RK Inc. to help us wrap that deal, I'd be more than up for it. I could probably find a toilet, hopefully clean enough for you to wrap.
There you go. You could be like Roger Hayden, though, and just put his face inside the toilet. So, I mean, he does that at Eagle every week. So,
yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to pee on Roger's face, right?
Absolutely. So that was mine, I guess. It's tough to beat a neon sign from the Dirt Crown, though. Each one of the feature winners getting one of those awesome neon signs that you guys made.
Yeah, and we're in the works with our guys at Neon Icons right now, and the debate is, do we do the same trophies again for 2023, going from 8 to 21 races, or do we do something different? And those guys are working real hard behind the scenes with us and trying to get us something put together that maybe a little bit more unique. It's cool to say you have one, but what if Dallin Murdy ended up with two? So I'd hate to get a guy that won this year to get the same thing next year. Or this year, I should say, last year to this year. So we'll see what we come up with. Some cool stuff coming for 23 for sure. You want to bring on
absolutely.
Nick here?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into our interviews. We got a jam-packed show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, if you've got a cool trophy that you've seen before someone win, or one that you've won, go ahead and comment below. Of course, we're live on YouTube and Facebook, and we can go ahead and pull your comments up. We've got Nick Baalman in the house here tonight. Of course, Nick, with our title sponsor for the 2023 Stock Car Crown Summer Series. And, man, it's great to have another title sponsor on, Scott, because, behind the scenes, a lot goes on. And, title sponsors are a key contributor in a series like the Stock Car Crown Summer Series and all of our other sponsors throughout the season.
Yeah, it's great to bring Nick and Phil from Mel Hambelton Racing on board, and great folks. Nick's been in the motorsports industry for a long, long time. Nick, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So Mel Hambelton Racing, something that's kind of a new name. Obviously, not new faces, like we said, Nick. The name doesn't really say what you guys do, but Great Plains Hoosier Distributor is what you guys got started in. Is that correct in Wichita?
Yeah, kind of in a roundabout way. We uh, the Ford dealership stepped up to be a Hoosier Tire dealer for the Wichita community when the other local race store closed down, and one thing kind of led to another. People would come in and buy tires, and they would ask, well, do you sell tear-offs? Do you sell race fuel? What about this? And Phil Nightingale, I'd known Phil Nightingale for a long time, and he would call me about once a week or every other week, and say, hey, they're asking about this now. Where do I get this, and where do I get that, and what should we do here? And finally one day he kind of called me and he said, I think we actually could actually make a real business out of this, and would you consider coming to work for me and putting it together? And I said, where do I sign up? So I kind of took a short hiatus from the racing business for about 8 months and didn't know what direction I was going to go, and there I was. I found myself right back into it, and about a year beyond that, we were able to purchase the Hoosier Tire distributorship that I had managed before for another entity, and so we've got that right back, and now here we are. So
Yeah, it's cool, and you guys got a lot going on, Justin. I'm sure late model tires are a big topic of discussion in what you guys are doing with the shocks, and Nick, you guys have the new late model tire deal that you're gonna have to deal with now.
yeah, we do. The new NLMT tire. So basically, what Hoosier has done is they've taken all of their open competition tires. So they say they had like 26 SKU numbers of open competition tires, and they've got rid of all of those, and they've condensed it down to 6 part numbers, 390Os and 392s, and they call that the NLMT tire. And that's what nationally every series is going to go to. And the neatest thing about that really is that crate late model racing aside, if you're an open late model racer, you can go race anywhere in the country and have 9 tires in your trailer, where before you would need 1300s, 1350s, 1425s, WRS2s, LM20s and 30s and 40s. And if one racetrack rained out and you drove 100 miles down the road to another one, you'd need a whole different selection of tires. So that's pretty much eliminated that for super late model racing. And the little bit of racing that we've got in so far this year with Votto and what they're doing down in Florida, it's proven to be a really good deal so far, and we've had a lot of success. And there's a lot of happy race teams, and like any change is always difficult, especially when it comes to the race tire business. So I mean it's going to be a difficult adjustment, I think, for a few more months, but I think long term it's going to be a really great thing for dirt late model racing in general.
So Nick, I got to ask, because the big question that all the racers are going to have after this last summer, especially towards the end of the year, we saw some races get canceled. Guys around here had a little bit of a hard time finding the WRS2 right rears. What are you seeing so far in the early season and your orders for these new national tour tires? Are we going to see, the stock come back up? Or are we going to have tires available to get the season kicked off? Or what do you think we're going to be in?
I feel like we're going to be in really good shape. Hoosier has built a lot of tires throughout the winter. Some of our dealers have stocking orders in for these tires that they're going to be getting large quantities of, actually beginning next week. So I don't really, it's been pretty mellow so far. we haven't had trouble really getting any of the popular stuff. The IMCA G60 situation is really good right now. The late model tires, they've got a lot of tires built. They've got a lot more scheduled to build very soon. They've pretty much come to us, the distributors, and said, we're not going to really put an allocation on you or a limit. Just take out what you need and what you think you're going to need to get through the first few months of the race season, and then we'll kind of reassess from there. But Hoosier has really done a great job with consolidating some part numbers and consolidating inventory, not just in the dirt late model racing, but in a lot of different product lines that they have that would really that's really helped in production and efficiency in manufacturing.
Nick, talk about a little bit. You guys say you have some stock, but you guys have ginormous warehouse down there in Wichita, right?
Yes, we do. We have a 50,000 square foot building.
Wow.
And we've got a lot of tires in it.
So plenty of room for those rubbers down there.
Yeah. So, in the fourth quarter of 2021, Hoosier knew that there was going to be an inventory situation going into 2022, and they pretty much put a stop sale on everything so that they could maintain, level of inventory that would be able to get us through 2022. I mean, even though it was a rough ride, if they wouldn't have done that, we would have been in a lot worse shape than we were. So when 22 started, there was a lot of panic in the marketplace because us as the distributors, we didn't have inventory. They weren't releasing the inventory until it got closer to the races, and so it created a lot of panic in the marketplace. But going into 2023, us as distributors, we have inventory in our warehouses. We have inventory in our shelves. Our dealers have inventory left over from the 2022 season. So, there's a lot less panic buying going on, and for the most part, it's just a lot smoother year, a lot smoother off season so far.
Super cool. And we talk a lot about the dirt stuff, but Hoosier, you guys are able to get motorcycle tires and drag race tires, and you're not just a circle track supplier, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we do, pretty much everything that Hoosier manufactures, except for a small amount of stuff that's proprietary to certain racing series and stuff that we don't have in our territory. We stock and we deal with. So we do a lot of drag race business. Our growth in the drag race business has been, leaps and bounds over what it was when we took the distributorship over 3 years ago. We've gotten really involved in the motocross community. One of Hoosier's sister companies, General Tire, is sponsoring an arena cross series. There was 16 rounds, and we, as Mel Hambelton Racing and Hoosier Great Plains, committed to following all 16 rounds. We have 2 guys that are leaving at 7:30 tomorrow morning to drive to Memphis for the final 2 rounds. They're in Memphis this weekend. So we followed that whole series, and we've met a lot of racers and built a lot of great relationships, and it's been very successful for us. So any of those, little opportunities that we have or that we can find to go out and support different kinds of racing, we definitely take advantage of, because it's not just about going out and setting up a booth and selling all this stuff and trying to make all this profit. Our business is successful based off of the relationships that we build with the customers, and to us, that's most important.
That's awesome. And the Hoosier Tire, like we said, is part of what you guys do there, but also racing parts in general, whether it be brakes or suspension. You guys have the full line of parts right there in Wichita that you can ship almost instantly, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got huge inventory, and our inventory is growing every week. Our leaders, Lisa Hambelton and Phil Nightingale, they pretty much reinvest everything right back into the company. So, it's definitely given us the resources to take Mel Hambelton Racing and build it into, a market leader. That's really what we're striving for, and we're getting there, and we're getting bigger and bigger. Every day it seems like, we have something new to showcase, but, we're very fortunate for the opportunities that we've been given, but, it's not just the Mel Hambelton Racing side of the business. We have the largest parts and service Ford parts and service department in this part of the country. We have a very large wholesale parts department. We have the largest quick lane tire and auto center in the country. We sell more passenger and light truck tires than any other Ford store in the country. So since I've been there for almost 5 years now, our entire operation, on the parts and service side has basically tripled in size. And so, you got the racing division, and you got the wholesale division, and the service department, and everything just kind of thrives off of one another, to keep that momentum rolling. And that's just one of the, great reasons that, we've been able to position ourselves like we have.
And you guys jumping on board with our Dirt Crown, Stock Car Crown Summer Series is awesome. We can't thank you and Phil enough. You guys are racers at heart, and Phil's kid Jake runs a modified. We've seen him around the Midwest and all kinds of different places. You've raced before, Nick, so we got to jump back to the Schaller Racing Shock Cockery question of the week. What is the coolest trophy in motorsports?
Well, I think that $1 million check from Eldora is probably the coolest trophy in motorsports, if you want my honest opinion. So
that's a good one. That is definitely up there.
Yeah. So if I could have any of them, it would probably be that one.
So Justin, real quick, the math. How many grandfather clocks could you buy with $1 million check?
Enough that I probably wouldn't need to spend the money to buy a cup car and run Martinsville. I can tell you that.
I'll tell you what. If I want a race that paid $1 million to win, I wouldn't buy a grandfather clock with it. I'll tell you that.
Well, I tell you, Nick, I hope the guys down there in the Wichita area and around this region look you guys up. Scott, you and I both know how important it is to have a local race shop. With losing ours a couple years ago, and even though Speedway is right down the road, man, it was so nice to be able to drive 10 or 15 minutes up the road and grab what we need. So I'm glad you guys stepped up for the Wichita area and all those guys down there in Kansas, including up here. So I hope anybody up here that has a need gives Nick or MHR a call, and I wish you guys all the success, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're just having a lot of fun with it, to tell you the truth. And it's just, it's a challenge, every day it's something different, but, we just really love being involved with the racing community and helping the racers out. And like I, said earlier, to us, it's all about building relationships and just building the brand in general. So check us out online, mhfordracing.com. Get on there. All of our products are on there. All of our race tires are on there. So shop us online. Check us out. Give us a call. Anything we can do to help you out or help out your race program, we're more than happy to talk to you about it.
Nick, hopefully we see you at a couple of our stock car races this year as we come to Kansas or any place up here in Nebraska, Iowa, or South Dakota. Look for you around the racetrack this year.
Absolutely. I plan on making a trip to a few of them for sure. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Nick Baalman with Mel Hambelton Ford Racing and everything they got going on down there in Wichita. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You guys have a great evening.
Thanks, Nick.
So we're going to go ahead and move right along to our next interview. Once again, great to have Nick on the show with us and Mel Hambelton for jumping on board with the Stock Car Crown Summer Series. They're the title sponsor for both sides, correct, Scott?
Yeah, so they're the presenting sponsor for both the East and the West Series. Phil Nightingale and Nick Baalman jumping on. Great folks down there, and can't thank them enough. And again, as we thank people here tonight, can't thank Jay Burdick and the Dirt Track Bank enough for helping with everything he does in motorsports and being our presenting sponsor here for the Inside Line.
Absolutely. Dirt Track Bank, without them, we would probably not be here tonight. So big thank you to everything that they do throughout the country with supporting racing. Up next, we're going to talk to one of the promoters out at Thayer County Speedway. This is a track that's really started to have some big races here the last few years, and the Stock Car Crown Series has been well represented, and also a lot of just dirt crown events that Scott and Rob have put on the last few years. I know last year's spring race, when we had the spring tour last year, Scott, that was some of the best racing I've seen all year, was that Sunday race at Deschler.
Yeah, it was a great race. Terry and his guys down there at the Thayer County Speedway, they have the heart and the passion to get behind the racetrack again. And it was early season spring, and some thaw and not really a lot of track prep they could have done any different. But track had some character. But man, was it racy, and the stock car guys put on a hell of a show down there.
Yeah. Well, Terry, talk about some of these great races you have going on this year. You have two different events that we're going to be covering this year. Of course, start off our first date on Sunday, April 23rd. Talk about that.
Yeah, April 23rd, right around the corner. Dirt Crown's coming out. Have another stock car show, and we got Malvern Bank 360 Sprints coming. We haven't had sprint cars here, I know, since I've been on the fair board. I think it's been quite a few years the sprints have been there. And I think Rob was pretty excited when I gave him the green light that we could have a second show, and glad we could get it brought in April. Again, talking about the spring thaw, it's nice to have a little bit later than March. Everybody kind of deals with that, but yeah, our guys really bared down, the last couple of years, and really put the effort into trying to make our track go. So.
Yeah, Terry, you guys are going to bring in the Spring Creek Showdown there, the 23rd of April. The sprint cars will return, the stock cars and the sport mods.
And the sport mods.
Talk a little bit about, before you came on with us here, you guys, even last year, there's no racing going on, but you guys are constantly working on the facility. And you mentioned earlier you're watching the snowfall and how much snow actually sits on the racetrack this winter.
We in the years past, I kind of got this little insides from Belleville. They would turn around and if you get a heavy snow or something, you want to get the snow pushed off, because if not, especially if you're having a spring show, get the snow off so you're not creating holes. But yeah, our guys, we hours of sheep's foot, blading and trying to get things going. We just can't put enough effort into it. Our guys, there's a few of them that have a pretty big heart for the shows, and we love having Dirt Crown coming in and helping us out, and glad to be a part of Dirt Crown at any time they can help us.
Terry, talk about your second big stock car show. This is starting to become one of the biggest shows, not only in the state of Nebraska, but really in the Midwest. Probably one of the highest paying events we'll have this upcoming year with the Mel Hambelton Stock Car Crown Summer Series. How about the $5,000 to win Remy Elting Memorial? Last year was such a memorable event with obviously Jed Williams picking up the win. He's from right around that area. Yes.
With Jed picking up that win, it was huge for the locals, and it was a great win for Jed. Jesse Sobbing was pushing him pretty hard. We over the last couple of years, that show was getting so big, and just love seeing it. And this last year, I believe the Purdy's came down, made their appearance. With Jesse Sobbing, there's a few more from Iowa. We even had a couple cars from California that came out. It's just, that show is getting bigger, and love seeing it. And that's coming in August. So that's a kickoff to our fair. I believe this is our fourth year, I believe, doing this, and the fourth show we've had, and it's a great kickoff to our fair. Again, having Scott and Rob in our back pocket really help us push the buttons to get it going.
Terry, I think I have this right, that fair event's going to include the Malvern Bank Super Late Models this year, correct?
That's actually not during the rim race, not during the rim. We're going to have the late models again on Friday night of our fair on the 11th. We didn't tie it into the Elton Memorial Race this year. So it'll be two separate shows. It'll be Sunday night, the 6th of August. And then the late models and sport mods will come back then on Friday during the fair on the 11th. So,
well, man, I hope as we watch that clip right there, everybody comes out and spends a couple of nights, because if I can come and watch Jesse Sobbing wheel a stock car around that place like he did last year, and then get to come back on Friday night and watch him in a late model, that's probably worth the price of admission right there.
Yeah. He's kind of made his name down here pretty well. For the distance he travels and coming in, he says he just loves the track. And we had a little mishap last year with the watering for the late models, but it happens. And Jesse was right there, and he said, things like this happen, and you go on. It's really, I really like seeing him come down. But yeah, there's a whole group of them that just really enjoyed coming down. They're great guys to work with, and the additions and stuff that we did, the additions and the changes we made to the track with the last year, with the new lighting, and we had we painted the outside retaining wall. We moved the catwalk a couple years ago. We've really trying to emphasize not so much the safety, but also just the good, try to get a good racing feel around there. So these guys, hopefully they, eventually they all see that and get that pushed out, because we really like making big shows work.
Terry, you guys have not only focused on, like you said, the walls, getting those painted, the lighting, the track surface itself. You guys have brought some clay in, have done some shaping, going to bring in a few new guys to help maintain the facility as far as the racetrack itself.
Yeah.
The group of guys you have assembled down there is just great, and seeing more and more races down there is going to be even better, and probably better for the racetrack.
And we hope so. We hope so. Yep. Like you say, Scott, 4 years ago, we brought in, we resurfaced the track. And I say resurfaced, we brought in 4,000 yards of clay and resurfaced it on an even surface. And and this year I think we're going to focus on trying to reshape it now a little bit more and get a little more racier, so we can get 2 or 3 lanes out of it. 2 or 3 racing surfaces, top to bottom. Do a little different cuts with the maintainer and try to get us a little racier track yet.
That's super cool. It's so exciting to get you guys there. I know you guys are doing a lot to promote the racetrack and everything that's coming up. You got a new Facebook page that everybody needs to go out and like. Is that right?
Yes. That's it's getting fired up here shortly. So it'll be going here within this next week.
I think it's up right now. The Facebook page is. So go check out the new Thayer County Speedway page. Ryan, I think you just had a picture of there. Hopefully Justin can find that between all of those other things he does on the internet.
Oh, I got the Thayer County Fair one and then a Thayer County Speedway one, but this might be the old one here. I'm assuming this is the old one, correct? Because this is from 2022. Yeah,
yep.
And then I have the Fair page.
There's a new one. Just look up Thayer County Speedway, and it should have a blue logo on it. I think now. I think that's how Art set it up. Nothing.
We will find it if it's there. We will find it.
There it is, right there.
I haven't liked it yet, so there we go.
Well,
there you go. We got another like for tonight.
There you go.
Go.
There you go. Hit this button, everybody.
Yeah. Somebody else do it so they know more about it than I do.
No, this is awesome.
I'm good.
Well, I tell you, the first time we went to Thayer County Speedway was back in the early 2000s with the old CNCTA late model series, and then got to come back, 2 decades later with the Malvern Bank Super Late Model Series a couple years ago, and then again last year. And it's a very unique track. Turns 1 and 2 are a little bit different than 3 and 4. It's a very technical racetrack for drivers. So I'm telling you, if you guys haven't been out to this racetrack and they get this thing widened out even more, you saw in these highlights of the stock cars, they're 3 and 4 wide already. we get late models going 3 wide around that place. It might be one of the best races in Nebraska that you'll see this year. So I hope everybody comes out and checks out the Dirt Crown Series there that night of the fair, and checks out the fair and everything you guys have to offer.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's just kind of nice having Mel Hambelton, with Wichita just down the road here. That'll help quite a bit too. Some Kansas
Terry,
drivers.
quick question about your fair. Do you guys still have the trailer races going on this year?
Nope. We haven't had the trailer races for a couple years.
Oh man, I went. You guys had the sport mods as a support class one year, and I was helping a buddy on a sport mod, and that was probably one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. It looked like a tornado went through a trailer park by the time you guys were done. But I had to compliment you guys on the show that you put on for that. So
yeah, that definitely raises havoc on a track too. I guarantee that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it did. It definitely drew a crowd. It was stuff. It was a lot of entertaining stuff.
Scott, that sounds like something that would be right up our alley, maybe our speed.
Yeah, I know. Me and you could probably handle that speed of stuff. We'd probably still wreck something, though.
Well, yeah, I think that's the point. It sounds like, according to Ryan.
It was crazy. Yeah.
I think, Justin, we should get our heads together here and think about what we could do with shot cockery and maybe a trailer race or RV race or
Eva Destruction, guys. We could do that.
There we go.
Eva Destruction. Yes.
At Thayer County Speedway. We already have it set up and ready to go.
There you go, Terry. We're going to bring
about that one.
I know a good graphics guy that can do this up right.
Yes. There you go. Come on, Scott. You can do it.
Let's do it, guys.
That.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time tonight, Terry. Before you go here, you got to answer our shot cockery question of the week. The coolest trophy in motorsports.
Coolest trophy in motorsports. Well, it's going to be a few years back, but it's kind of more of a. I grew up in Belleville, Kansas, and I actually witnessed Jeff Gordon winning the midget nationals down there at Belleville. And
we weren't talking about trophy girls, Terry. We were talking about trophies.
Okay. I understand that. Yeah. No, but the trophy that he did actually end up getting, rumor has it, even to this day, that's one of the ones he still has on his mantle. So that to me is kind of to me and a lot of Belleville fans and growing up and watching the open wheel and the midgets down at Belleville, I know that was one of the things that it was kind of neat to hear the fact that if he does or doesn't, I don't know, but it was kind of cool to hear that he still had that trophy, and it was one of the 4 that he kept on his mantle of his fireplace. So, whether he still does or not, I don't know, but I actually remember seeing the trophy, and I even have pictures of it here in the place. So, pretty neat.
Super. That's cool. Well, thank you again for your time. Make sure that you're checking out the Thayer County Speedway pages. Terry, any other big races you got coming up or planned this week or this year?
No, we've got with the Elton Memorial Race on Sunday night, August 6th, and then August 11th, we got the Malvern Bank Super Lake coming back with the sport mods. I'm going to put on a good show there in the Midwest Classic Stock Cars. Always fun having Eric and the guys come out. They always have a fun time. And then, of course, we're with the April 23rd. So everybody come out and celebrate my birthday and have a good time.
Oh, it's Terry's birthday, so that should be a real good time. Sorry, guys, we're calling in sick on Monday.
Yeah, it might happen. But, no, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Well, we
Thank
look forward to coming down again this year, so hopefully we'll see you a couple times this year, Terry. Thank you.
Yep. Look forward to it also. Thank you.
Big thank you to Terry for jumping on with us here tonight once again. Just seen it up there a little bit ago. Thayer County Speedway, brand new Facebook page. So just search Thayer County Speedway. It's a blue logo now. So there's like 3 different Thayer County pages now. So make sure you click on the right one there. Make sure you give it a like. And they got a lot of great stuff. I think it's cool that, in the day and age, Scott and Justin, where we see a lot of racetracks closing, they're on the opposite trend. They used to run weekly all the time, and then they kind of backed off on the amount of racing they did. Seems like the last few years they've really started to invest down in that area, getting more and more bigger shows down there.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, they've done a really good job with the track. Anybody that's been down there the last couple of years, it's really cool. Kind of got that nostalgic feel, the covered grandstands, the old fairground feel. But bringing the Dirt Crown Series in, bringing the Malvern Bank Super Late models in. I mean, they've put a lot of time and effort into this track. So anybody that hasn't been there, like I said, we were there in the probably 2005 and didn't get to go back for 2 decades, but man, that place is awesome to watch a race at. It's a very unique track as far as the corner configuration and stuff. I don't know if there's a better place in South Central Nebraska to watch a race right now. So I hope everybody gets down there this summer because they've done a ton of work and deserve everybody's attendance.
It is super cool, and like you can probably remember, Justin. I know I can remember going down there, and you watch the guys. They could run up against the fence, which Jake Neal showed 2 years ago with the late model. You can still rip the fence there, but you can run around the tires as well. And so the more they work on the racetrack, the more races they get. I think the more racier it's going to get back to that. I think it's going to be awesome. And like Justin said, if you haven't been there, make sure you get there. Check out a race there any way you can.
Yeah, and I don't think Jake Neal needs a fence to rip it down. He'll go up there and knock the air down if he has to. But yeah, that place, I mean, it's kind of crazy. You can run, like you said, you can run right around the bottom in 1 and 2, and then you can jump up there and rip the top in 3 and 4. And it provides some crazy racing. I mean, you saw the highlights from your guys' race down there last year. And you guys bring in, I mean, if you're a stock car racer in the country and you want to, come race against the best, your guys' race are the place to be this summer.
I appreciate the kind words there, Justin. And it really goes back to, we set out to try to help racetracks and provide a good race and the racers with good pay. And to have 50 cars last year, we mentioned that earlier, 50 cars at each race is what we averaged, and 175 cars throughout the summer. This year, jumping to 21 racetracks, 19 different tracks, 4 different states. I only look for it to continue, and really the best racing right now, week in, week out, no matter what racetrack you go to, is the stock car class. So great drivers and great crews, and everybody behind that stock car field is awesome. So I think it's only going to be that much better for 2023.
For sure.
Well, we'll go ahead and keep moving on here. We got one more interview. We got a good friend, Tommy Denton, who's been very involved with the Dirt Crown Promotions team the last few years. Tommy, proud to be jumping on as the brand new promoter out at the Beatrice Speedway. I tell you what, it's really exciting to see a guy like Tommy, who's done such great work with the Dirt Crown and also down at the Jefferson County Speedway, take over the helm of Beatrice Speedway, a racetrack he's very familiar with. Tommy, number one, what made you interested in promoting 2 racetracks now?
I don't know if I was interested, but it just happened. I've always wanted to promote at Beatrice if I had the chance. I was already doing it at Jefferson County Speedway, so I had the opportunity, so I put in for it.
And that's great, Tommy. I mean, you've been a guy that's been behind that, whether it be, organizing fundraisers or the Beatrice Hall of Fame, all the work that you've put in behind the scenes that has gone without a lot of racers and fans knowing that it was you behind it. That's awesome now to see you as the promoter. And Tommy, before we get too much into Beatrice, I think you are the only person, we talked about this the other night, that has perfect attendance on the Dirt Crown Series.
Yeah, you guys told me that. I was kind of surprised. I knew I made every one, but I thought one of the other guys had made all of them too. So
no, unfortunately not. Before we lose Justin, Justin's got some prior commitments here. Justin, you got any real quick questions for Tommy here before you jump out with us?
Well, I'm not sure that a question is in order, but like you said, it's a little bit unique to have someone step up and promote 2 tracks. I don't know if he's got a little bit of a crazy streak but how do you plan on handling that and maintaining that through the summer, and especially when it gets to these busy months? I know you've got a full schedule in both tracks, so.
Yeah, it's going to be busy. Fairbury is not every week, so that really helps, and then I'll be going with the Dirt Crown wherever I can with them guys. And And then Beatrice starts on May 5th and be going every week after that. So Fairbury's is just once or twice a month. So that's not so bad until we get to the midget show in July. And then that's just 1 week, 3 days out of that month. So there's probably a couple nights at Fairbury that I'm going to miss because I have to be at Beatrice on Friday nights. So, but they'll make do over there. They did last year. I missed the first night of the midget show. So they'll make it.
Real quick, Justin, I think you're going to jump off here. Thanks for joining us tonight, bud. We really appreciate it, and we'll have you back in a couple weeks with us, I'm sure.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I appreciate you guys very much, and wish everybody a lot of success here in this early season. Tommy, good luck with both tracks, man. I can't wait to see you down in Beatrice.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Justin Suter from Chandler Shocks joining us as a special guest co-host. Tommy, you guys start the season off with always a big race, the Beatrice Spring Nationals coming up, and that's when we're going to join you down there. That's a month away?
A little over a month away, not very, very far. I'll tell you what, I went out to the racetrack Monday night, and they had dumped 100 loads of dirt around turn 3 and 4. They're trying to fix that bad spot going into 3 where everybody was getting flat tires, where the base of the wall was showing. That's already got underway. I was shocked when I drove out there and seen all the dirt that was on the racetrack. They haven't moved it around yet, as far as I know. I haven't been out there in the last couple of days, but it'll be interesting to see what that's going to end up like by the time Spring Nationals get here.
You mentioned the dirt work going on. You have always been a big contributor in improvements and upkeep at the racetrack. Besides the track surface, what other upgrades and things do you have going on out there?
Well, what they're going to do after Spring Nationals, we still got another month and a half before we start the regular season. They're going to go in and on the inside of the racetrack there where the wall is barely showing and it's all silted down from over the years and stuff. They're going to cut all that out and get the wall back to where it needs to be and everything like that. I think they're going to add some more dirt to the rest of the racetrack also and everything. So hopefully it'll be a really racy surface this year.
You know, it's a great place, and I think we mentioned this on a few shows ago. All the national championships that have come out of the Beatrice area, the hard competitors that race there every Friday night, something you're going to be pretty proud of to say you're a promoter of Beatrice Speedway and the competition level that somebody can come down there and see every Friday night.
Yeah, that's something that I want to recognize too this year. I'm hoping we'll get a sign put up with all of our national champions that have raced with us at the Beatrice Speedway, especially Johnny and Jordan. You know, those guys, they've got so many national champions between the two. And now Dylan Richards is coming up. He's got 2. And we included Tyler Fry on that also because the year he won the Sport Mod National Championship, he was actually racing at Beatrice weekly. So I want to do something to recognize them guys.
We're watching some video clips of how racy and wide it is. It's going to be awesome to see the racetrack get maybe a little bit of a makeover and come back to its glory that it once was and be even racier yet.
Yeah, that what they're doing over in turns 3 and 4 is it had a pretty good flat spot on top of it all the way around. They're just going to get that banking back in it there. And like I said, they're going to fix that wall going into 3, which was taking out a lot of tires towards the end of last season.
That's awesome. And the ambulance being able to enter in turn 1 will get that fixed as well.
Yes, they're going to work on that. They're going to fix that because it looked like the ambulance was going to tip over every time it come back down on the racetrack. So they're going to fix that big bank that's right there and everything too on that for them.
Tommy, awesome. Talk about this schedule. I don't remember another year where Beatrice has had such a different variety of racing. You got your weekly classes, and the weekly racing at Beatrice has always been spectacular. But talk about having some sprint car and late model shows there this year.
Well, it's something that we had talked about in like last year already when Derek was still there, that we wanted to change some things up and everything. And I just followed through with it when I got the job. And sprint cars, Race Saver sprint cars once a month. That's going to really be a big deal for us. And then the Malvern Bank Super Late Models come in on June 16th. I'm really looking forward to that show because that is a 2-day weekend for them. They're also going to be running at McCool the next night, so that should really help the car count for that show.
Yeah, you're doing a couple really cool shows down there, Tommy, but you're also maybe giving some guys a night off here and there to
the night
do other things.
The night the sprint cars are there, we're going to give one class every night off. So everybody, all 5 classes will have a night off during the season. So, and they like that. It seemed like I didn't know how that was going to go over very, very well. And it worked out real well that they're kind of liking that, having a night off. And I know the night of the late models, we're sending the stock cars over with you guys over in Iowa to run the 2-day shows over there. That was kind of a request. So I just made the stock cars have a night off that night with the late models. So it helps Dirt Crown out also.
Yeah. And that's really, when we go back to Dirt Crown and why it was formed, we really want racetracks to be able to work together and racers to be able to enjoy maybe a little bit of traveling and different sites and different racetracks. And like you said, you're giving your guys each class a night off, which allows them to participate in other things. I think the 19th, is that when you guys have off?
Yes.
There's a show up in Albion. So I think that's the night you guys have the modifieds up there. Isn't it, Ryan, up your way?
Yeah, I think we'll have the Malvern Bank super late models and the modifieds up there. That might, but yeah, it's just like you were talking, Tommy. I think I was listening to another podcast. Just being able to give these guys a break every now and then, and just supporting other racetracks as you're doing that. I think these days it's really imperative for racetracks to really work together. Not only just the series, but the racetracks themselves. Even if you're racing on the same night as another racetrack, if they take a night off, they promote you guys. Hey, go race with these guys, or vice versa. It's all going to help us all in the long run as we work together.
Yeah. We're close enough to Salina. If those guys want to go down and run at Salina, they can go down there. Or if they're with one of the classes at Albion, they can go up there. August 11th, we're giving the sport mods a night off. They're going over to Deschler to run with the super late models over there. So it just gives them a place to go that they may not normally get to go.
I'm excited for that sprint car show. You got the 360s and Race Savers all on the same night to end the year. I don't know, has Beatrice ever had a show like that before? I know they have had sprint cars, but just a sprint car centric show.
Not that I know of. I'm the first one to get to do that. Race Saver 305s and the Malvern Bank 360s. I kind of put that together. I know there's some guys that run both classes. I think it's going to be an awesome show. And unless Joe adds somebody to the schedule for the 360s, that could be their championship night for the season on September 29th. And that would
we talk about that. What you have coming up in the end of September. Again, we keep mentioning the name Malvern Bank and Jay Burdick, their Trek Bank over there. It's awesome that they stepped up this year and put on a schedule for those sprint car guys, and Tommy jumping on right away, getting the Beatrice Speedway to have sprint cars down there. I look for every night at Beatrice to be something different where fans are going to want to be there, Tommy. I know there's some things that you want to work on to get more fans in the stands every night.
Yeah, there's some things I've already kind of wanted to do. We're going to have some giveaways every night. As far as I know, our class sponsors or our nightly sponsors that come in for one night, I've asked them to bring giveaways and stuff this year. They did it last year. It seemed to work out really good. What I want to do this year is something that we used to do. The night they win, we'll let them go up on Victory Lane and get their picture taken. The next night, they can come back on the front stretch and we're going to do their interviews in front of the crowd. And I've seen pictures and videos of that back when I was racing, and that was always so popular with the little kids. They get to come down to the fence and see the drivers, right there in front of them and stuff. And I want to bring that back this year.
And that is super cool, Tommy. You mentioned that you used to race, and it was the factory stock days when you raced, or Friday night flyers, however you wanted to call them. But I see this trend more and more of ex-racers becoming promoters and being involved in keeping these racetracks alive. You're not reinventing the wheel by any means. what you're doing is bringing back history that brought people and that put their asses in the seat.
Yeah, and I'm hoping some of the stuff that I've got planned will help. The crowd has been down over the past couple of years, and maybe this year with some adding of the sprint cars and the late models, it'll bring the crowd back again this year, and they'll get to see what's actually going on out there. Hopefully the car count gets a little better. Most of our classes were really good. I know the modifieds were down with I-80 closing, unfortunately. Maybe we'll gain a few cars on Friday night from them also. I know I've talked to a few other guys that plan on coming to Beatrice this year on Friday night, so I'm hoping they stick to that and show up here too.
Tommy, we'd be remiss. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead. Sorry.
You brought in the mod lights last year, and that was a class that we've seen Nebraska have and struggle a little bit, but growing now that they have a Friday night racetrack.
Yeah, they just didn't have the car count, so we dropped them for this season. I actually picked them up over at Fairbury for the nights we're going to race over there, and I'm working on getting the IMCA sanction for that also. So that gives them – they're not going to be running with McCool. They're going to be running up there, but not on the nights that I race at Fairbury either. So that gives them another 6 nights, I believe, that they can stay in the area and race. And a lot of them wanted to run on that little racetrack over at Fairbury again too. So I got them over there now too. So that'll help them out. And then hopefully we can bring maybe some of the Kansas guys up on a Saturday night and do that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Tommy, go ahead and talk about Jefferson County Speedway while we have you on the air. You guys have really done a lot of renovating at that. That might be one of the nicest racetracks. I have yet to be there yet for a race, but just the grandstands, the work you've done on the actual racing surface, the fact that you can pull a 2 to 3 day USAC Midget National Series show each year says a lot about what you guys are doing down there. Go ahead and just talk about the season coming up down there.
Yeah, we're getting started on May 6th this year with the J Husker micros and stuff. Compacts are going to be racing. We're adding the mini trucks back in again with J Husker. And then I'm also going to bring in the mod lights. Our first 3 races, May 6th, June 10th, and June 24th, all regular J Husker shows. And then we come into the July 13th, 14th, and 15th for the 6th annual Midwest Midget Championships. And I got to say, you got to thank Cody Brewer from down there in Oklahoma. He does all 3 of these shows. It starts at his track at Meeker on a Tuesday night, and then it moves up to Beloit, Kansas for Wednesday night, and then it comes to Fairbury for practice night on Thursday, and then the 2-day show on Friday and Saturday, with the last night paying $10,000 to win. And if you guys get a chance, if anybody's listening to me gets a chance, you got to come out on practice night. It is so awesome. They put on a shrimp boil and barbecue over at the campground. It's free beer, free food. And it's just gotten bigger and bigger every year. And that is some of the best food you will ever eat. You get to sit down with the USAC drivers, eat dinner with them that night. It's just a great deal.
You sure you want to do free beer there, Tommy? I don't know. Are they going to be able to survive the next 2 nights after that?
So far they have. They've done this now for several years, and it's always worked out. But it's just gotten bigger and bigger every year. Before it was just a few guys that show up and they do it. But now they've invited the fans and the drivers and the owners and everybody. And it's kind of neat to sit over there and sit down and eat with some of those drivers like Jerry Coons Jr. and stuff, just to sit there and talk with them.
That's a super cool way to interact with the fans and the drivers and the teams. Ryan, I can't believe you haven't been to Fairbury for the midgets. We're going to expose you to. We'll expose you to that this year too.
I honestly have always wanted to go. I mean, look just at the highlights. Look at those top 4: Mitchell Moles, Ryan Timms, Justin Grant. I'm assuming that's Buddy Kofoid in 4th. I mean, those are the who's who of midgets. And I think, the Silver Dollar Nationals was a one-of-a-kind event at I-80 Speedway. I put this kind of in that realm. It's a one-of-a-kind event. You're only going to see an event like this in Nebraska at Jefferson County Speedway. Nowhere else has a midget race like this.
Yeah, I believe we're the only track in the state that has a midget race right now. And it's just so good. last year, the guy that won it said that Fairbury was on his bucket list to win. So, and he won it. He got the $10,000. So, and the HUSAC drivers, from what I've heard, this is one of their favorite places to go every year.
I don't think you could put on a midget show like this anyplace else in Nebraska. Just the grounds that are there with the fairgrounds and the camping across the street and the pit area. And then you get to the racetrack, which, again, has been improved on every year, whether it be the grandstands, the racing surface, the catch fence. You've added the shrimp boil to be bigger and bigger. The improvements that go into it every year just makes this event almost a must-see, a ticket that at one point you couldn't even get, and they keep adding grandstands to help the ticket sales.
Yeah, we've kind of stopped on the grandstands. We're basically out of room almost for grandstands there. We've added stuff we got from the old Minneapolis Speedway, and then we built some ourselves. So those are all there. The main grandstand hold about 1,200 people, and then with the other ones we put up, we can add another 600 or 700. So we can get quite a few people in there. So it's always a good show. And if anybody hasn't seen it, they need to come out and see it. And we're starting another one now that we started last year with Terry Maddox and the Now 600s on August 18th and 19th, where that's a national show for the micros, for the Now 600 wing, non-wing, and restrictors. And last year that show was awesome. I know the first night wasn't the best. With the little bit of rain we had, it kind of threw a wrench in it for us, but we got it in. It wasn't the raciest track, but we got it in. And the next night was just totally awesome for that. Terry Maddox does such a good job with that series, and we are so pleased to be a part of it.
Tommy, talk about that just real briefly here. You bring in the Now 600, and the car counts are unbelievable for the micro sprints.
Yes, they are. I think last year, if I remember right, we were at 120 cars total. Wow. all the way around and stuff. One of the local bars, Tooley's, they jumped up. They wanted a part of this, so they call it the F-Town Showdown, and that's the sponsors from Tooley's there in Fairbury, and they've already jumped on it for again this year, and it's F-Town Showdown Take 2. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm probably going to have to miss the first night being at Beatrice, but I know it'll be another awesome show.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tommy, for jumping on. Before you go, you got to answer our Shotcockery question of the week. What is the coolest trophy in motorsports that you have seen?
Wait, Tommy, stop. Ryan, I don't know if you know this, but Tommy builds trophies, so you can't answer the question with your own, Tommy.
No, I wasn't going to answer it with my own. The grandfather clock, I would say that is probably, but Dirt Crown, I've got to say the guys that won that trophy this year they all wanted it. You can tell they all wanted it, and the ones that won it just love it. So, yeah, the grandfather clock is probably one of the coolest things, but I still think our Dirt Crown trophy is one of the coolest things.
Oh, they're chasing gators down in Florida right now, so yeah. That's something else that people want. But yeah,
if I got a chance, real quick, guys, before you let me go, we are doing a fundraiser for the Beatrice Speedway Hall of Fame this year, and it'll be during the Daytona 500, and it's going to be at the rail here in Beatrice. It opens at 10 o'clock. The race, I think, starts at 1:30. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have an auction. The rail has been really good with us this year. This is the first time we got to do it down there, and we're going to make up some food. That way they don't have to bring in their cook and everything, but looking forward to doing that this year at the rail. I'm just part of that Hall of Fame thing, me and about 4 or 5 other guys that do it. And this is something we look forward to every year. We just go out to the businesses and pick up some stuff to give away. Some of it's good enough. We put it on a silent auction. Also, I'm going to build a baby cradle this year that I built for a couple relations of mine. And I'm actually building one of those for the Shane Hyatt benefit coming up in Rising City. And I'm going to build one for our Hall of Fame party here that we have during the Daytona 500. So that was something I did want to mention before I got off here.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, it's only about 3 weeks away, and we're getting a little bit behind on picking up our stuff. So I got to contact Scott a little bit for some help on some things yet. From
Always
his
here
business.
for you, Tommy.
So, but
Yeah.
if anybody has a chance to make it down to that, that's pretty cool. Hopefully this year we'll have some of the Hall of Fame drivers that are around here show up at the place and everything, and just have some fun with us down there.
Yeah. So not only
Absolutely.
Tommy is promoter at Jefferson County Speedway, promoter at Beatrice Speedway, part-time trophy builder, perfect attendance on Dirt Ground. He's also part of the Beatrice Speedway Hall of Fame. So,
And I
just
got one more
hat
for you. I got one more for you, Scott.
What's
I'll
that?
know on Saturday for sure, but it sounds like it. I'm also have been working with the State Racing Hall of Fame, and this weekend is their elections, and I may be on the board for the State Racing Hall of Fame now too after Saturday.
Man, do you sleep?
Tommy, yeah, Tommy, we can't lose you, bud. Don't get too busy now.
No, I'm still gonna. You guys, I'm hitting as many.
I
of them
still
dirt
have to
ground
have my
races
drive
as I
back
can.
from Lexington. That was a great time with you and Angie. I don't know how you could do that 20 times this year, but we had too much fun. That
It was
night.
cool. I loved it. I mean, it was
was.
so great to get out and see some of the racers that I don't know very well, and get to meet some of these different stock car drivers and stuff. And it was awesome. I just loved doing it. And I'm going to do it as much as I can this year.
That's awesome,
Absolutely.
Tommy. We appreciate it, and check out Beatrice Speedway on Facebook, the website. Where else can we find information about you guys?
Facebook for Jefferson County Speedway. Also the Beatrice Speedway Hall of Fame on Facebook. I think that's about it.
Okay.
Good luck, Tommy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you in like 4 weeks. Does that get you nervous? Well, we only got about a month and a half till race season, so
Yeah,
Get ready.
it's coming up pretty quick. It's
It
coming up
is.
real
Absolutely.
quick. So, yep.
Well, good luck, Tommy. Have a great one.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Scott.
You bet. Thanks, Tommy.
Oh, good old Tommy Denton, one of the best guys in motorsports, I will say. Great guy to work with. And that's going to bring us to our headline segment of the night, Scott. Just a few headlines we'll go through tonight. Sponsored by Dan Taylor at Taylor Computers and Repair. Of course, if you want to speed up your computer, get the quickest results with Taylor Computers and Repair, part of our quick time headlines. Now, this was just announced the other day. I talked to one of the guys who actually posted this post about the brand new Northeast Nebraska Hall of Fame. They have just announced their inaugural inductees, and we've got 4 different inductees here. They've got a few different awards, and I might try to line up an interview here the next couple of shows. They've got Troy Werich is the president of the Hall of Fame, and Larry Huckemeyer is the vice president. Now, those guys, former drivers way back in the day, and they've got 4 different inductees into the 2022 Hall of Fame. I was talking to Keith Kesting, who is a part of the group, and he's saying he's going to get some bios out here shortly of each of the 4 winners there. Gerald Brueggemann, Don Weirich, Kim Lingenfelter, and Robert and Janice Haase. The Haase name, especially in my area up in the Norfolk area, is kind of anonymous or synonymous in racing here over the last 40 to 50 years. But Scott, it's really cool to see another group come together. We've seen a few different Hall of Fames start to pop up here in Nebraska, really trying to give back to some of those drivers, get them some recognition for all their hard years of racing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see guys want to recognize what once was and what has brought us to where we are now. You see the Lingenfelder name, obviously the Haase name, the Brueggemann name. I mean, it's crazy to see this. It's amazing. I think they have an award. One of the awards they had was Impact Motorsports Award for 2022, and Abe Lincoln and Sam Ganskow. That was the US 30 Speedway that's now still in the Lincoln family. Sam and Dwayne or Abe, however you knew him, the founders of that. It's cool to see these names are recognized, and I know you and me growing up, those were always names that were around, and maybe you didn't realize the significance of a Lingenfelter name or the Haase name, but when they would walk by you or you'd hear the name on the racetrack, you always recognized it. And so to be able to learn more and almost preserve the history of that is going to be something really cool for Northeast Nebraska and just really dirt track racing in general.
Yeah, and so that was 2022. 2023, it's Jerry Sewer, Gene Brudigan, Ray Haase, man, that's bringing it back a few years to back when I was a kid, and Tom Niemeyer are the 4 inductees, and they're actually going to have a banquet October 21st. So if you're interested in attending that, follow the Northeast Nebraska Dirt Racetracks and Drivers page. It's a group. But they're actually going to get a website and Facebook page up here shortly. So once again, just wanted to give them a little bit of notoriety, doing some really cool things, honoring some of our past drivers throughout the state of Nebraska. Our second and final, our second of 3 quick time headlines. Did you see the payout at Dodge City Raceway Park there, Scott? My goodness.
Man, we've had some drivers down that way say that we really need to come down to Dodge City. Troy Burkhart, shout out to you for pointing this place out. I've checked it out quite a bit, but man, the promoters down there have really kind of blew up the purse. 1,000 to win for the modifieds every night. I think stock cars are 500 every night. It's kind of crazy to see all the names and the
hobby
shares
stocks
and
are 500, Scott.
It's crazy. I see for maybe not every time, but maybe it's one of those nights that guys have a weekend off. Dodge City is where it's going to be, and that place is real racy. I've seen sprint car races there, late model races there. It's something that puts on a good show, and yeah, it's a little bit of ways, but if it pays good, it's a place you can check off your bucket list and go watch some really good racing. I look for the car counts to be real good down there in Dodge City.
Oh, Kurt Bonner puts in a good post here. I think Craig Delansky, former World of Outlaws sprint car driver.
Yes.
I know he was the promoter. I don't know if he still is or not. I'd have to actually check on that. But that'd be one guy that would probably definitely get some money into the sport and is a really good promoter just with his experience with the World of Outlaws sprint cars series. But yeah, that is awesome. I've seen highlights of the racing down there. The track kind of reminds me of a cool junction, just with the type of facilities they have, the nice grandstands and the pit area and stuff like that. The track is probably a big 3/8.
Yeah, it's a big 3/8, wide, racy, not crazy banking, but not flat by no means. It's something that will put on a really good show down there. So, like you said, the facility is just super nice down there at Dodge City. So I look for that place to they'll be on the radar of a lot of racetracks, and maybe one day we can get a stock car race there.
Absolutely, mark it down for 2024. Our final comment here tonight. Of course, we would be mistaken if we didn't mention the upcoming Shane Hyatt benefit that's going on Saturday, February 11th at 2 p.m. There's a lot going on for this event. Of course, all proceeds are going to medical bills of Shane Hyatt. Just following his story, it's amazing how much progress he's been able to make. He's completely out of the hospital now. He's at physical therapy, and they're going to have a silent auction, a 50-50 raffle, a live auction at 5:30. This is going to be at the Hideout Bar and Grill. I drive past there all the time going to Demon Decals, and it's right on Main Street. You can't miss it just going into town there. So if you're in the area in Rising City on Saturday, February 11th, go in there for a great cause. Go in and say hi to the Hyatt family, as once again, they'll be there trying to raise funds for all those medical bills for Shane.
Yeah, something that Jared Adkins, one of his real close friends and crew members, stepped up with the help of others, and he's put this together in a way to help Shane. And he was talking the other day about some Dale Earnhardt jackets and a signed guitar and all kinds of stuff that's going to be up there for the auctions and the silent auctions. And there's going to be food. And he mentioned today or yesterday to me that they've brought in porta potties for that weekend. It's a Saturday, the 11th. They've also rented another hall right there on Main Street in Rising City in case they have overflow. So, man, I just urge everybody if they can to get out and support him as a fellow racer and a friend. Support those guys as much as they can. Actually, Ryan, you don't even know this. I was trying to get Shane to jump on with us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Just so everybody. So, I mean, I've been able to see him several times as he's recovered. But it was something where I've watched the progress and he's out and about going to doctor visits and different things like that. Today was a PT day, a physical therapy and occupational therapy day. He just, with the meds and as hard as they worked him today, wasn't up for it. But I think it's something that we'll get him to jump on one of these weeks here with us so everybody can maybe see how Shane's progression is and know that he's working hard to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a great idea, especially it's kind of unfortunate. We're not going to have another show before this event takes place. So once again, mark your calendars down for Saturday, February 11th. We'll be back on the 14th for our next show. Maybe we could do a quick recap of how that went. Hopefully we can kind of find out how much money they were able to raise and what some of those items went for. I think Dan Taylor on his podcast I was listening today, I think he said one of the guitars is signed by Trace Adkins and a few other country stars. So that's pretty crazy.
It's got 3 or 4 signatures on it. It's Jared who was organizing this deal. He found this guitar that was signed by these 4 guys and thought, man, that'd be a great thing to have on the auction. Yeah. So went ahead and put it up on the auction. So real good guys there. Just trying to help fellow racers out. So just appreciate all the help. And we always talk about racing family as one big family, and it's definitely shown with the support that we see there.
Absolutely. Well, that is going to wrap up our show here tonight, presented to you by Dirt Track Bank. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in. Of course, big thank you to all of our great guests out there. And hopefully in a few weeks, we'll get Rob back on with us. We missed him the last 2 episodes, but I'm actually going to be switching out. I won't be here next time, so hopefully he's back. We'll have to wait and see how he can get her going.
Yeah, Ryan, you said you're going to the racetrack in Texas. I feel you're just probably going out for Valentine's Day.
No. Unfortunately, my wife has not been able to enjoy very many Valentines for me because I think every year we go down to Abilene and race during the Icebreaker, and it's always the same weekend of Valentine's. So usually I have to take her out either before or when I get back. So,
well, at least you make it up to her. That's what's important right now.
we try to right before race season starts. But yeah, absolutely. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. But of course, big thank you to Taylor Computers and Repair, title sponsor for the QuickTime headlines. You can get a hold of Dan to get the quickest computers in town. He's located over in Council Bluffs. Also, a big thank you to Jay over at Dirt Track Bank, one of our great sponsors. And now Mel Hambelton, of course, title sponsor for the Stock Car Crown Summer Series.
Yeah, great to have all those folks, and it was great to have Nick on. And can't thank Justin and Ben enough. The Shotcockery question of the week, Charlotte Racing Shocks. They've been a great supporter of ours too. So big thanks to everybody.
Absolutely. All right, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you on Wednesday, February 14th, 7 o'clock with more great promoters, drivers. We'll see what we can dig up for some interviews next time. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you down the road.